received about an event, and having a decision-making tree that helps you formulate good strategic decisions, not on an emotional nature. Emergency reception centers is something that we've tried to develop throughout the municipality, with a primary, the red X, and a secondary, which is the green X underneath. As well as we've been trying to, over time, enhance the emergency response capability of our resources, whether it's the fire departments, community service departments, again our EOC resources. We have some wireless aerial maps. We have some hard copy maps as well that we can access to help organize a response. We do the annual training exercises with the team. We bring in the resources. We create a fictitious scenario, and in various ways try to throw a monkey wrench into the process to test the group and its ability to work through those issues and the communications. Speaking of communication, it is the key to effective emergency response, not only for directing our resources, but getting feedback to the emergency response group at the EOC, to be able to respond to what's happening, and the need to get good, viable information out to the public. So we've done a number of investments over the years to enhance that capability that way. As it happened, that blizzard where the trucks were parked a year or so ago, I was strategically stuck in Sarnia and coordinated our response through my BlackBerry for the limited response that we had. But it was a vehicle that we employed to service in that particular event. Housing becomes an issue if we have to declare an area. We have an area that's been hit by a tornado or something, or a major fire. Is housing. Typically people will go to relatives or go to friends, go to out-of-town hotels. So our response typically in an event is to find housing for about 10% of that given population. The rest will find shelter somewhere else. The challenges in the Grand Bend area is a large tourist influx, like we had this past weekend at the Pinery and our beaches, campgrounds and trailer parks. Our cumulative volume of people that come in. So being able to respond effectively to those, there was a lot of panic that occurred last year, I think, when the tornado hit the Goderich area and storm warnings and so on and so forth. Within the Pinery, there was confusion and chaos as to what people should do. And so we've worked with the Pinery to try and work out a better communication strategy for those. Coordinating our emergency response with the fire board's efforts, we've added standby power to 4 of the 5 halls, and we're looking at doing this current facility now with a recent grant we received from the JET fund. We've also been installing generators where needed at the 4 of the 5 emergency response centers. The one that's remaining is the Forest Legion, and that's one. The challenge is as much the electrics, electrical setup of that facility, and finding a generator capable of doing it. They've made a lot of changes from electrical heat and so on to a conventional, I think it's gas-fired HVAC system. So that's the issue. Before we make a firm decision on its location of the EOC, we want to evaluate, reassess whether the shore should be the location or whether the Legion is. There's some advantage to Legions and recreation facilities because they have resources available, whether it's through the Legion themselves, they have volunteers and so on and so forth. They can help operate those facilities in the event of a major event. So this is the area that we're looking at getting a backup generator for. Our emergency center, we have a contract with the Canadian Red Cross to assist us in an event where they're mobilized, that they will come and set up beds and cots and so on and so forth, and feeding stations to assist us. A wide variety of their things that they bring to the table. They'd like to do a little bit more cross-training with local volunteers on how to operate an emergency response center, but the enthusiasm for that comes and goes with the when an event has died down, so does the enthusiasm for learning about it. So we have to work our way through. We've had some good exercises with them. I would take the council back to the original assessment of major risks that are facing the municipality. I spoke to this earlier about most of these major risks have a broader impact than simply Lambton Shores, and that's why I've been advocating at county level that I think the county is better equipped and better positioned to coordinate response to major power outage, because they're not just localized typically to one community or another. It's a broader base, similar to a winter blizzard condition, as we all know that major blizzard, as far south as and further south than Oil Springs and all the way up outside of this particular county. Similarly with ice storms, major heat waves, lake damage, and the potential for a fire can have very broad impacts that I think the county is better positioned at. Similarly, a tornado we usually track through a number of areas, and so that's something that I'm continuing to just try to discuss with my colleagues at the county. One of the more recent issues that has arisen about emergency reception centers is food preparation and food service to residents. There's a potential health hazard there, and the County Community Health Services Department is pushing very strongly that we implement some major controls on how that's done. As you recall, when we had the outage here a year or so ago, there were a lot of generous volunteers from homes who provided food or brought food to an emergency reception center. Some of the restaurants helped bring food in, so we need to work our way through that to ensure that we get people consolidated in an area, feed them, that we're not potentially creating a further problem. The other issue that we've been exploring is the issue about potential developing early warning systems, whether it's a siren system that Sarnia currently uses, looking for one, and how it would be utilized up here. So we're weighing pros and cons of that. That will be something discussion the next emergency response group to discuss. There's some merit in it because it is. I had an email over the weekend from somebody who frequented a trailer park in the area, and they were here last year when the Godrich event took place, and why did we not do more? Were we not more proactive about alerting people? And now part of it is a responsibility for individuals to monitor whether we have very good cable TV systems like the Weather Channel. There are weather alerts that you can get through on your mobile phone device and so on and so forth. So it's a fine line between our ability to predict where an event is going to happen. There was lots of predictions as to where that tornado was going to touch down. This particular individual was asking about, we wanted to know what shelter to go to in advance of that event, and explained to them that it's problematic to send people to a particular facility, say in this case the Grand Bend Legion, and have it turn out that the Legion is at the epicenter of that tornado strike. You've brought a lot of people to coordinate this. So unfortunately our response, as much as we can be proactive about a lot of emergencies, you get weather predictions, whether it's going to be an ice storm, a cold snap, those types of things. When we do pre-planning, we'll alert the emergency response group, we'll pre-assemble, talk about things that we can do in response to that. Some of them, like a weather system that is very unpredictable, we're less able to give advanced response to, and it's more of an aftermath response. We would set up if the Port Franks area was damaged by a storm coming in off the lake or a tornado, we would then set up an area outside of Port Franks to direct those people to arrange for buses and transportation to get those people out. So that's a reaction after an event. So it's a combination of being prepared, making sure you've got the resources. Our emergency resources, fire, EMS, and OPP are outstanding in responding to these events, and it's pretty standard formula for, depending on the nature of the event, for one or the other to take the lead from a logistical standpoint. We play more of a supportive and coordinating role for the EOC, but I think a strong case can be made to exploring this more at a county level, emergency response. If I overextended my time.
Phil?
Thank you, John. Great presentation. Every time we talk emergency response, we say the same thing, and that's the county overseeing. And I don't know how far you're getting with your group. Are you looking to us for a motion? Are you looking
I
for
don't
the
think